The area adjacent to South Sudan, covering the states of Southern, Western, and Northern Kordofan, Blue Nile, White Nile, and Sinnar have been silent witness to recruiting conflicts, negligible development, and a multiplicity of unemployed youth. These youth have become a perennial source of supply for conflicts, many of which are on the verge of being drawn into them. Moreover, these areas are also subjected to additional pressure of hosting internally displaced people from domestic conflict within Sudan, besides hosting refugees from the south. Despite many efforts over the years by various organizations and programs, the situation still remains challenging. With this in mind, UNDP, along with Sudan DDR Commission, and in coordination with 7 line ministries, NGOs, and civil society, have reviewed previous pilot projects covering more than 127 communities across these states to formulate a response to the situation. The overwhelming response from the communities was that every Sudanese pound that is spent should work to regenerate the economy, create employment, enhance alternative livelihoods, and include inherent elements of peace building. Pilot project interventions focused on creating community economic infrastructures, facilitating the regeneration of rural economy and creating livelihood opportunities, as well as bringing people from communities in conflict into economic ventures. It additionally conceived the notion of community management committees, CMCs, by reflecting the diversity within the community, giving a voice to members including youth with conflict-carrying capacities, women, and men. They received training on issues relating to water, microfinance, peace building, gender issues, and natural resource management, to the structuring of term of references and registering as a community-based organization. The Community Management Committee enabled the community's members to work together, assess community needs, and come to a common consensus on issues at hand. Accessibility to land for women has become possible, which has worked to empower them both economically and socially. Other interventions range from solar power irrigation yards, fishery value chains, biogas plants, and greenhouses. Holistic approaches ensured that communities benefited from these activities by employing youth addressing existing conflicts, empowering women, as well as seasonally employing IDPs and refugees rather than depending on relief. This can be exemplified in the case of Ganasgarib Blue Nile State. What was initially the start of a fishery pilot project has turned into a holistic approach to development, whereby 70 men and 30 women from 4 conflicting communities were targeted. They were provided training in fishery-related activities, food processing, and small business management. Youth in the group would fish throughout the morning in wooden boats and bring the catch to a central location with mechanized boats. These boats quickly transport the catch to a cold storage area, where women clean and process the fish to make various products. Once processed, they are transported by youth to markets in neighboring localities. During early hours of the day, women participate in literacy and numeracy classes, learning skills to interact with their socio-economic environment. The use of value chains and business development services in this instance has become inevitable. Community-wide economy recovery will therefore continue to be enhanced. Continued success will not only be accomplished through economic regeneration, livelihood support, and women's empowerment, but also by improving socio-economic infrastructures and ensuring graduated and voluntary control of small arms. In Juda, White Nile State, this is exactly what has been recognized. Joda's place on the map is directly alongside the South Sudanese border, where it hosts high level of unemployed youth and an influx of IDPs and refugees. Despite feeling pressure on basic services such as increased school enrollment and sharing its local clinic with South Sudanese communities, Joda has been able to warmly welcome newcomers. It has acted as a catalyst for economic regeneration of the area. An agricultural project in Juda was established following community consultations. The CMC decided to bring dry land into cultivation by employing 100 unemployed youth, whereby extension services were supported by the Ministry of Agriculture. Additionally, UNDP and Sudan DDR Commission provided 10 water pumps and hoses to pump water from the River Nile, a tractor, fertilizer, and seeds. Today, youth participants have an alternative and sustainable living. They choose not to join conflict.
والحمد لله مبسوطين وفهمنا المجتمع والحراك يعني الشغل كله شبابي بأكمل وجه قاموا بالدور المطلوب وساعدوا في الزراعة وفي التعليم في حل المشاكل النزاعات اللي بتحصل الصراعات بقت ما في البلد مازية يعني عندنا أهلنا الجنوبيين دي اليوم لاجئين استقبلناهم بحرارة وودينا دورنا على الوجه الأكمل.
The tractor is also loaned to other communities, which generate funds for school and clinic rehabilitations. Refugees were given seasonal employment to harvest and cut crops, perfect way to promote stability. Stability can now be witnessed in Hayy el-Mak, South Kordofan state, where previously women's land ownership was taboo. In the hopes of starting a poultry farm project, men, traditional and religious leaders were mobilized to advocate for women's land ownership. Through this mobilization, and for the first time ever in South Kordofan, women were granted access to this land. Building on the success of pilot projects and the community's trust in the idea of enhancing community management committees and women's role within their localities, a groundbreaking Community Security and Stabilization Program, or C2SP, was conceived. Community management committees remain at the core to ensure new and existing projects are in line with community needs.
كانت فترة ما شاء الله جميلة شديد والتي استوعبت منها الكثير يعني وعرفت إنه كيفية التعامل مع الناس اللي يجوا من برا مثلا وكيفية التعامل مع الناس الأجانب حتى إنه مثلا لما يجي واحد في حالة ثانية إنه هو مثلا خائف أو إنه يريد أن الأمان يريد الاستقرار يريد البداية والله نحن نادر الحمد لله قويناهم والحمد لله هم قاعدين معانا كأخوان.
C2SP intends to contribute to the stability and resilience of a number of selected communities at risk of being drawn into conflict. As such, communities live in hope for inclusive and durable approaches to development, as C2SP seeks to provide. It is hoped that partners can join hands to promote an approach which can have lasting positive effects and bring stability to Sudan.